Are we live? No, not yet. Why is not going live? Okay, it's live. Okay. In the meantime, you can also just log in and go, and I'll start the live here. Okay. Going on Instagram, and there we are. Okay. Where is our Guju Bhai? Do you know Sagar from Founders Fund?
I have not met him before, but I've heard of him.
Okay. I think he was one of the earliest guys. I think who aped in ETH a lot. So I think he also does ETH Munich,
Mm-hmm.
and is the I think general partner.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that. Checked it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to know more about Unit. I think they've done a couple of editions, huh?
I think they have done a couple of editions. Yes. And which part of India are you in now?
Bangalore.
Bangalore.
Yes.
I heard the heat and everything is going crazy.
Don't ask to like. I think yeah, it's hitting peak. Honestly, like Bangalore had never been like this. You know it, right? So, but now things have changed. Things are becoming extreme. Dude. Even the cold this year, it was pretty extreme.
Wow. I was just talking to a friend of mine. You know Vish, right?
Yes.
From ex Bera chain. So
Yeah.
I was having a chat with him in the afternoon, and he sounded like he's in the UAE. You know, like bro, it's so hot, it's
No, that's a
crazy.
see. Generally, you've not been used to AC like all the time. Right? Like okay,
Yeah,
you use
yeah,
it like when you're just about to sleep, etc. Nowadays,
yeah.
at home, I always need to have it on. Right? Like so, it's just become a thing. But yeah, it's a different Bangalore too.
I I can never imagine that. You know, in fact, there was a time when if like I don't think anybody had ACs in Bangalore. Like if you had AC, you were a baller and you were just showing off.
Yeah, for sure. About like maybe 30, 40 years ago, there were no fans as well in Bangalore. Like fans were not like a thing.
Okay,
That's what it. Yeah.
I came to Bangalore in '89
Uh-huh.
when I was 2 years old or something. So uh, I think I did have a fan in my mother's house. So, but then, bro, I've played cricket on the main commercial street on a Sunday
You serious?
because uh, because I had some friends who stayed there. The
Uh,
commercial plaza
hmm.
that is there. I played cricket over there. So if you hit that building, it's a 4. If you hit that building, it's a 2. Now you can't even walk there.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's impossible not to imagine that. Yeah,
It is absolutely crazy.
yeah.
And even in Indranagar, um, I think when I moved to Indranagar, I first moved to Domlur.
Hmm. Oh, I live in the
Do you
blue.
know? Oh, you live in Domlur. Okay, quick trivia. Do you know what does Domlur mean?
And man, Dommaluru, it says.
Yes.
Dommazu. What is that? I have no idea.
It 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 literally means mosquitoes. That is why you have so many mosquitoes there.
Oh, really?
In Telugu, it means mosquitoes.
Seriously? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Even
Oh.
I didn't know I had an office in Domlur layout. And
Mm-hmm.
in fact, I had offices and houses both sides of Domlur.
Mm.
And boy, the mosquitoes that were there. And then, all the Reddy Annas are the
Yeah.
landlords there.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
So,
That's why they
so
look good.
my, yeah, so I was talking to my landlord, and he's like, it is a lot of mosquitoes that were at Domlur. I'm like, what the heck?
Shit, man. No, I do see these days. I don't think that's also there because nature's gone anyway. The mosquito was kind of gone.
Really?
Uh, yeah, dude. I think it's just
I'll be
normal.
surprised. I'll be
Yeah,
I, I, I'll be supremely surprised.
yeah. Or maybe because it's all like my windows are like netted properly. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, but then when you step out, you would know the thing,
No,
right?
no. Then it's not like how you're describing it. It's not very
Okay. So
obvious.
maybe
Yeah.
yeah. So I think 16, 15 years ago, it was really bad, bro.
Can imagine.
Uh, I don't know why Sagar calling me,
Go for it.
bro. I'm live. I am live. Join the link. I will not. All the scam that has come out. We want to interview you.
Uh,
Join the link. Have you got those messages yet,
no, no, not yet.
bro? Okay.
I
You
don't
know,
click on any links. Yeah.
no. So I'll tell you someone who's really, really big in our space.
Uh,
Um, this guy actually got fooled by someone saying that we are from Bloomberg and we want to interview you. It's a
okay.
cold DM. He
Yeah.
said, okay, Bloomberg, maybe. Okay, he's a
Mm.
come. So Bloomberg maybe, okay, let me go in and do it. And then what happened? This guy actually got
Mm.
Sagar, this is where we rug you.
Man, Sagar, hi.
there is hello guys. Vaibhav, thanks for invite. I have to say, man, there's nothing left to get rugged. The rug is also gone.
No,
It's
Sorry
because
for
I was
apology. Yeah.
no, Avaril. I was just telling Irshad that how we often get messages saying that we are from Bloomberg or we are from Coindesk and we want to do a podcast with you, and they send you a shady link, and then they say, "Oh, camera's not working. Can you run this file on your terminal?" And then we can.
yeah.
It's crazy, man. But then glad the infrastructure has moved to a level, and it's absolutely right for our conversation today. Infra versus ecosystem in 2026. Sagar is still with that. He's frozen with that big smile. We need to take a screenshot of this and make a meme out of it. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, I think it's in the lift.
Oh, dude, only in India we see that there is no network in the lift.
Yeah.
Outside,
Not a
everywhere
problem.
there is network.
Oh, I
Yeah.
wonder why, dude.
No, India we are built very differently, right? India, everything. Toyota Qualis, which
Mm.
did so well at India in one point of time, was a reject from the Middle East.
Yeah, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
Sorry guys,
Oh,
this hotel is also trying to rug me here with the bad Wi-Fi. Sorry. Yeah, I'm back now. I think I found the corner and we can talk now.
how
So
come? How
apology.
come?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Well, you're on mute.
Vaibhav, you're mute actually. Vaibhav, you are mute.
Sorry. I was trying to
Yeah.
adjust my light. Even light
No.
fell.
Irshad, can you hear him or no?
Yeah, yeah, I can.
Really?
You
I
can't.
can't see him.
You can't hear me, Irshad.
I
Can
can
you
hear you.
hear me, Irshad?
I can. I
Hmm.
can.
Okay. भाई अपना फोन नहीं
Let me
उठा के दोबारा एक
rejoin. Let me rejoin.
Yeah.
okay. Okay. By the time he joins, tell us. You have also done a lot of reports on the Indian ecosystem. Uh, what do you think? How has the Indian ecosystem grown from the time you joined Hashed and the time you left? I'm sure there was a massive um change in the Indian ecosystem. When did you join Hash?
2022, early 22. Yeah.
Early 22. Okay, and then
Sorry. I'm unable to hear you, Weber.
Yeah, still
You're
mute.
on
I
mute.
think.
You're on mute.
I think Vaibhav, remove your headset completely and use the microphone from the PC. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
back.
Are we taking?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
Yes.
great.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I was
yeah.
saying that you worked from 2022 to almost 2026, about 4 years. How is your like? What do you think? How Indian ecosystem has grown in the last 4 years? Because you have been at the heart of it with India Blockchain Week, and also your company was deploying. So how has India grown in that span of time?
Sure. So I think we can, talk in terms of certain, sorry, certain parameters. Like, for example, if we look at adoption on ground, uh, we could take reference of Chain Analysis's report. You may have come across Chain Analysis's global crypto adoption report, and that report has ranked India number one for 3 consecutive years. So that has been something. I mean, despite regulations being stringent, we have seen this. Now, there are certain metrics that define this, right? So that has been great. Uh, I think another way to think about this is like from devs perspective. We've also seen that has been growing. Like I think the last report that came out from Electric Capital, I'm not sure if I'm updated with if there's been a newer one that came, but I saw that India has the second largest dev base for crypto developers, uh, which is I think about 17% of new developers came from India, which is a big one. So this has been happening over the last few years, right? We also saw uh, when we hosted IBW, I think we saw the demand there was among major L1s and L2s and exchanges to tap into the Indian market, right? For both for devs and for users, and that's something that we saw during our discussions for sponsorships, etc. So there was always like companies always waiting to like do something in India, and I think we just had to give them a reason. Um, in terms of startups that have come, uh, honestly, like we've seen good success stories early on, right? Like the Polygon days, Instatabs, and Bioeconomy, etc. Uh, but like maybe in the last few years, if you have to like point out and say, okay, these are also like as big cases as like let's say Polygons, or the others. I don't think that'd be right because we have not seen so many success cases, and there are different reasons for that, right? Um, and yeah, so that's another. I mean, we can get into that. I think on the regulation side, things. I mean, of course, there was a ban, and then that got better. And then there's this FIU thing that came into picture, saying that any exchanges operating here, you need to be like abiding with it. So some little positive, but at the same time, there's also like taxes, right? 30%, almost like a sin tax with 1% TDS and no loss offsetting. That has been another thing. So I don't think with regulations we've made much progress. Even like from our own perspective, when we host IBW, we always approach the government, the state government, and we try to like get them, the IT minister, get them involved. Can you guys, join us, etc. But it's always like taken, from a different sense because it's a bit of a gray area. So we have not gotten like a lot of support. So yeah, I think that broadly covers different areas of evolution, the crypto ecosystem.
Interesting. Since you spoke about 30% of taxes and 1% of TDS, that is why Sagar is no longer in India, and he's in Germany. Sagar, uh,
Good call.
what is your understanding of the Indian ecosystem right now? I know, though we don't live in India, but I'm sure we still have some knowledge of, the elections going on, what is happening, and stuff like that.
I mean, look, Vaibhav, as far as I think I know about the Indian ecosystem, I think Irshad knows much better than me. But one thing is pretty clear, जहाँ पे भी लिखना है लिख लो कि India will never allow this all things to be super regulated because not in the interest of the any, especially as India is a country where majority of the richest club, the club of rich people wants to take out their money at any given point of time. So this is not going to happen in near future. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but imagine the time you can fully convert your capital into the crypto and then move it around the world legally. I think the hundreds of billions of dollars will go away because the craze amongst the Indians to go outside is unbelievable. I mean, I live in the Western democracy. I mean, in Germany for last 15 years. I just sometimes don't understand that what is this craze is all about. To go out and to spend all the hard-earned money or like always fantasizing. Because we have seen in the movies and all. But back to the crypto ecosystem, I think the question would be, Vaibhav, to you and Irshad. I don't want to make it controversial, but let's add some masala here. Is there
Dude,
an
you can make
ecosystem
it
left? Is
controversial.
there
Dude,
is there an ecosystem left in India? Let me put it this way.
okay. So first thing, let me tell you this: you can be extremely controversial. You're
Yeah.
from the land of Dhruv Rati. Okay. So screw
I'm
it.
not a fan of
We
him. I'm not fan of him. Okay, I'm not fan of him. By the way, let's put it. I come from Gujarat.
oh. Okay. Good one. Good one. Good one. So
I think I cannot give advice by sitting in Germany to the people in India because you need to eat your own dog shit. That calls like walking the talk. If I really care about the country, then I should be there, not here.
wow, wow, spoken like a true bhakt. I like that. But let's talk about your question. Is any ecosystem left? See, I'll uh, I'll say this in a very short thing. I believe that Dubai is the best city in India, and anybody who raises funds in India is here in Dubai. People think of going to Singapore, but it's too expensive, too tiny places. Indian food is available, but I think more of South Indian food is available, and for all of us, we whenever we travel, you have been there like for 15 years. You and I both know that in Germany to get Indian food is so difficult,
But घर
right?
पे बना सके. You can cook at home.
भाई अपन लोग ट्रैवल करने वाले 2-3 दिन कॉन्फ्रेंस के लिए घर में भी कहाँ से पकाएंगे?
You, if you're traveling for 2 3 days, you need to adopt the Gujarati culture, man. Bring
I
thepla and
know, I
khakra with you.
know.
I think we can change the topic from crypto to
I
the traveling and
I love it
geopolitical discussion today.
how Sagar is shilling the Guju vibes through and throughout, right? Really a token. He's just shilling the Gujarati vibe here. By the way, we have another Mallu. Sorry, not Mallu. Mangalorean bro there. Even they are
Yeah,
everywhere in the world, just like the Gujaratis. But then
bro. I
we
love more. Yeah. Okay. Please
bolo
go
bolo
ahead. Yeah.
bolo bolo bolo.
Yeah. No. I love more South Indian food at this point than bit of Gujarati food. Let's put it this way.
Man, it is the right choice because you know that in Tamil Nadu and in Karnataka and in Kerala, the government does not belong to the Guju files. And the food is also amazing there. I don't know where this conversation is going,
Look,
but
look, 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 look. Let's put it this way, okay? We are not going to discuss too much in politics, and I have no interest of discussing politics. But let's put it this way: whenever, I mean, Irshad is in India. I mean, Vaibhav, you left India and you're in Dubai. But look, whenever India has got into the trouble, okay, economically, geopolitically, there is always the two good Jews have came to the survive of the nation. Back in days, that was Sardar and Gandhi. Then comes Adani and Ambani's, and then now, right now, is Modi and Shah. So let's put it this way: um, there is
ए भाई मैं तेरे को गाली WhatsApp पे भेजूंगा या इधर ही दे दूं?
no. I mean, why? I think देखो scene क्या है ना कि इंडिया में क्या है ना कुछ अच्छा होता है ना तो there is the Western democracies always have the problem because they don't because I can talk by staying in here. Okay, that man, I think if you do something crazy great, you will be in the front line of the German newspaper. I have seen so many times. If you do the worst, then you will be in all the newspaper of the front line. सो इंडिया में कुछ अच्छा होता है ना तो बहुत सारे लोग हैं उनको समझ में नहीं आता है ठीक है कि ये कैसे हो गया ये कैसे हो गया ठीक है जैसे हम लोग का ग्रुप रहता है ना 5 लोगों का इंडिया में कि भाई एक बंदा आगे पड़ गया ठीक है तो ये कैसे ऐसे कर सकते हो? अब जैसे वैभव तुम्हारे ग्रुप ले लो या तो कोई अपना ही ग्रुप ले लो, जब इंडिया में तुम साथ में खेल रहे हो और तुम आके यहाँ पे दुबई में पेल रहे हो, पैसा छाप रहे हो, बच्चे भी बढ़ा रहे हो, ठीक है। पूरा तुमने फैमिली बना दी है। अब कोई कोई का है ना, वो डाइजेस्ट नहीं होता है कि यार ये वैभव कैसे आगे हो गया, वैभव कैसे मिलियनर लोगों को मिल रहा है, ठीक है।
So,
तो ये
so
है ना,
that
ये
indeed,
अपना जेनेटिकली है इंडिया में, ठीक है, समझ रहे हो।
mindset. बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल. Well, talking about the mindset, yes, there is a big challenge with the mindset. Now, this is reminding me of that Samay Rana's last episode. आप रणवीर अल्लाह बादिया, मैं समय रैना, ये बीच में आशीष चलानी कुछ नहीं बोल रहा, एकदम सेफ खेल रहा है ये।
नहीं, उनके साथ है ना, आईसीपी वालों ने एक बार समय रैना को बुलाया था, याद है तुम्हें? समय रैना था आईसीपी वालों के क्लब पे, फिर आईसीपी की टीम थी। देन ये कौन है दूसरा जो मुंबई में, ध्रुव राठी का भाई, मुंबई का है वो।
I know the entire team of ICP well. I didn't know that they called Samay Raina.
नहीं, there
This
was like
must be
a Twitter space, and they invited all the comedian club,
okay.
and I was also there. I mean, look, if you have a opinion, you should share it. I mean, you should not.
No,
If it happens,
I'm always open for the opinion, because even I'm pretty opinionated. But then let's ask Irshad the question that you asked me and Irshad. Let's bring it to Irshad. Is there any ecosystem left in India? Is Sagar's question, who's been away from last 15 years.
Yeah, actually, see, that's a good question.
भाई आवाज नहीं आ रही है।
आ रही है।
मुझे नहीं आ रही, सही में नहीं आ रही।
Sagar, no, you're not able to hear me?
No, I can hear you.
Okay.
Check. Can you hear me now, Sagar? No? You want me to rejoin? Let me do that.
No, I think, Sagar, do you want to rejoin? Because I can hear him. Okay, दोनों चले गए, वाह, सही है. So this funny thing of this conversation is that from a crypto Web3 conference, it went into an absolute funny conversation from the cultures that we come from in India. It's hilarious. We have Irshad joining us again. Let's get Irshad back and let's get Sagar back. And guys, please check if you can hear each other.
Yeah, Irshad, can you hear me? Okay. Yes. Perfect.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So to answer your question, I was just saying that's a very important question to ask, and a good question. I think to look at this, right? Like, if you look at the stats of India has the second largest crypto developers. Now that ideally should have led to a lot of crypto activity coming from India, in terms of let's say products being built or successful startups, etc. But that is not coming out. Then the questions about okay, but so what's happening? Why aren't the developers in India getting converted to, let's say, founders and successful products, right? Because in the Web 2 space, general startup space, India is the third largest startup ecosystem in the world, right after US and China. But that we're not seeing that in this space, in the crypto space. Why? So the easiest explanation to that is it's regulations. Regulation has been very stringent. We spoke about it, but it's not just the taxes, but it generally discourages people to build businesses out of India, right? Banks do not want to associate so well with you. I mean, things have improved, but it's not the best. That's why people are leaving India and going to other places, such as Dubai, and maybe any place in the US, where we are seeing a lot of Indians do well too, right? For example, some of the like your eigen layers and sentient, and some of these things are built outside of India, and I think even Avail, right? But within India, I think this has become a big problem now. Regulations lead to lesser amount of risk capital being available, which means all the other Web 2 VCs are not investing in any products here, right? If you look at the investment that's been coming over the last 2 years or so, or 3 years, Hashed Emergent has been active, but apart from that, you can't take many names who've consistently been active. They've been investing once in a while in India, right? So that's mainly because people are discouraged to invest money into this ecosystem, especially all the ones that who've been doing it before. So when there's not enough money, there are less number of experiments and there are less number of successful products being built, and that is the state of the ecosystem at this moment, right? Yes, chains have been trying to put in money, trying to host different kinds of like forms of activations with hackathons and meetups, etc. But that is helping with more and more users coming on board, I think. Um, right?
I think devs,
But
not
testing
even
products.
users, devs.
Mhm. Yeah, so that is just, I think, the state of the ecosystem, unfortunately. Um, yeah, man.
I think Isha, bro, you put it very nicely and diplomatic way, but let me put it this way. I would like to fire the shot again. I think
Go for it. Go.
since Polygon become the Polygon, actually the Indian founders who are before Polygon, I think in the Web3 ecosystem were underestimated. They were not getting the capital and all kind of funding. But Polygon made this part much easier. And I also at least supported the design of the founder. The problem in Indian ecosystem is like, look at these founders. After raising tens or 20 millions of dollars, rather than building the product, they will do everything else. Vibing, buying the Porsche, living in the fancy apartments in Dubai. I think the main part they figure it, the main part they missed out was the building the actual product and finding a market fit.
But then, how many founders have you seen like that? Because see, the thing about living in Dubai, I know a couple of people who have done exactly that you're saying. I just don't want to name them because they are my friends. Uh, we have seen that trend of they you know uh, getting two bedroom or three bedroom really fancy downtown houses, a couple of cars parked underneath. Now I understand that this is the life everyone aspires for, right? Everybody wants to be in a country which actually feels that you're in the Western Hemisphere. You want to feel like driving the best things in the world. That is there, but I also know of founders who are really grinding and making sure that their product is out, because I think now the funding route is also changed. Right now, you both deploy funds or have deployed funds. You would not straight away give somebody $1 million or $500,000 check. You will have milestones for it. So I think those times have changed, and I think VCs have learned from the mistakes. Right, Irshad?
No, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no. That has nothing to do with the VC checks or timelines or the. That's how it doesn't work. If you look at the venture capital, when the founder is 2 million or $20 million, the money goes in their bank account right away. And then they have to do is like all they have to do is like figuring out the product and build the product market fit. The problem here is that the reason is also I know lots of them. I'm not saying everyone is the same, but majority of them basically got hands on 10 to $20 million, bro. That's a 200 crore, right? That's not a little money. The problem here is that money is VCs have give you to build the product, not to spend on your personal lifestyle. I mean, Vaibhav, I mean, they all are our friends and family, but I have invested my own hard-earned money into them. So of course, I'm not gonna take
Bro, I
the
can
name.
I can I can feel your pain, bro. I can feel your pain. इतना frustration है ना, मतलब I can feel your frustration here.
No, it's not frustration. I'm just saying, like, I have bet also our own founders because they were all under radar. That's fine. When you invest as a angel or venture capital, you know the risk you're getting into, right? So that's not a frustration. I'm just saying that if you keep doing this kind of thing, the asset allocator will turn into you again. And
Okay, I think we lost him there. Do you agree to him, or you think that founders have become more serious now in the last couple of years?
See, it's very hard to answer that.
See, because
Yeah.
he had a very valid point. Because in Dubai, I've partied with these guys, and the places that we go to and all of that, I'm like, boss, यहाँ पर you know 25,000 रुपए का bill आएगा, like for me each, like, and I'm saying 25,000 रुपए like Indian rupees. So I know what he's saying.
Yeah. So I think there are always two types of people, right? People who are responsible enough that you can trust versus the other kinds as well. I don't think they go away, right? It's just that probably like VCs have stricter ways of investing and things like that. They're gonna say no more often.
Sagar just sent me a message saying that, bro, we can't publish this. I'm like, this is live. This is going on. There is no coming back. Well, I always welcome an open conversation, right? Because it is, and the best thing is, why celebs get caught in coffee with Karan? It's because they are friends, right? And then when what we are used to talking in private,
Yeah. Because you don't realize you're live, right? Like, see, right now when you're talking, you just forget that you're live and all. It's just like sometimes get in the flow.
yeah.
Oh,
So tell
God.
me, which Indian projects are you really bullish about? Now you no longer work with Hash. You no longer have connection with Aptos and all of that. So tell me. But I think Sagar wants to say something. You're
Yeah.
saying, boss, this is live, Sagar. Don't tell me that
Yeah.
I can't publish it. People are already watching it live.
How many people are watching?
I think
How
about
many?
250 odd or something.
It's okay. Then they can have some fun time. There's lots of time between me. Yeah.
Sagar, tell me, are you in India or in Germany? Because the lagging that you're happening happens only when we are in Bangalore and we are shifting between 4G to 5G. He's stuck again. But tell me,
Can you
what?
hear?
I
Yeah.
भैया हो नहीं हो हाँ हो हाँ
Can you hear me?
okay, yes, yes.
Of course, I'm in Germany. That's why I was telling you, like, this wouldn't be the case in India. Something has changed in India.
You're no more a part of the census of India. That is what has changed. But then I was
Let me.
asking Irshad, what projects is he really bullish about in the Indian ecosystem, where retail investors can perhaps think of putting in money now, because he no longer works with Hash. He can't talk about his sponsors, Aptos, and all of that. But I'm talking about Indian tokens that you think has potential.
So honestly, I would like to refrain from this topic,
No,
because
but
then it's just
no,
about like tokens
by the
and
way, this is not financial advice. No,
no. So,
listen, this is not financial advice at all, right?
no, of
Everybody
course. So,
who's watching this, if you listen to us and if you put
yeah.
in money, kudos to you, because even we don't listen to each other and put money any longer.
No,
But
honestly, Sagar, go ahead. If you want to take that question, feel free to please.
Irshad wants to play safe.
No, but
Bolo.
he's right. Here I'm agree with Irshad fully. There's nothing left to buy anything. There is nothing left to buy anything. I would say, like, don't touch it.
Oh, Irshad, let's
Sagar,
go.
Sagar on fire today.
Sagar is fire.
Alright.
This is the dialogue that is reminding me. पुष्पा क्या फ्लावर समझा क्या फायर है मैं. Dude, now like एकदम Indian ego के ऊपर बात आ गई है, right? So
भाई ऐसी बात नहीं है. ओके ऐसी बात नहीं है. बट आई थिंक इरशाद इज राइट कि यार यार तुम कैसे बोल सकते हो? हम लोग को खुद को नहीं पता होता है क्या चलने वाला है, राइट इरशाद? तो हम किसको क्या
something
बोलेंगे?
that we are bullish about. Saying, for example, I'll tell you the projects who I'm working with, right? I know that I'm not bullish about any token, so I won't tell you. Okay, I will say Doge खरीदो बैठो because of the X payment factor. Something might happen with Doge, okay? But there's not financial advice.
Yeah.
Similarly,
That way we can talk about like projects like, let's say, Polygon. I am bullish about how they are like so stuck on payments right now, and the recent collaborations they've had, etc. I'm honestly bullish about it because they've been steadfast in what they're doing, right? And some of the others that if we were to talk about, let's say the Instadap folks, right? The Fluid is one of the projects that they have.
Who?
It's really Instadap, right? Instadap. Yeah. So they have something called Fluid. They're doing like fantastic, and few projects I think we can go back and think about, because I think that the recent few months have been very confusing in general, right? Like in the crypto ecosystem overall as well. And it's not just about like India specifically too, right? Because yes, see, if it is like a token that's associated with a chain for its own, those are native tokens, then they always have something, right? Like for example, your Mega ETH and Monad, we've always seen this so much. But the moment it's not associated, then people try to ask questions like, okay, what is the value accrual, etc. So there's a bit of a confusion. There's a bit of a gap there as to like, okay, what do these tokens mean? Do we really need tokens to run these projects? Because at the end of the day, we just want these projects on blockchain and it has to generate revenue. It may not even need a token, right? So I think we're going through that phase, right? And that's why like probably ICO launchpads like MetaDAO, etc., picking up some like pace there, right? Saying that okay, our tokens are genuinely valuable because there's no other equity accrual of value. It's all to its tokens. So yeah, man, I don't know how else to answer that. Yeah.
So no, but I mean, Isha, the whole, Vaibhav, let's put it this way. Let's go back to the at least 7 to 8 years. The why ICOs were relevant. Crowd started investing money into ICO. The concept was, look, you have to look at the token as an share representation of the company, right? That's the one thing. The second thing is that it was basically the access to the second world, third world countries where you cannot get into this all venture capital, right? As a retail person sitting in one village in India or African countries or any Asian country like Filipinos or Thailand, right? So the ICO was the great innovation that anyone can invest in any startups as an early investor with $50, $10, $30. But as we say, like humans are the
Also,
greediest creature.
also
Humans
that
are the
is where
greediest creature.
Sagar made all
Yeah.
his wealth.
So basically, the whole concept was that how can you participate in these all emerging tech companies as an angel investor, as a retail investor, right? But the problem was that most of the greed-driven people have converted this whole movement into the casino, right? Now let's fast forward 10 years now in 2026, where last 2 years were like meme coin launch on two particular chains. I don't want to take a name. Have
What
completely
was
rugged the.
now?
No,
Now,
I mean
please.
the people know it,
Now,
bro. You
now start taking names. Big deal now. Sagar is not scared of anybody. Take the
uh,
names.
no, people knows it. I mean, look, there's a 225 people look watching us or 300 watching. They all know that how things works in crypto, right? So let's put it this way: they have completely flooded the like basically the millions of dollars as a meme coin. There was no any value creation behind it, right? And now, as a fast forward, let me put it this question: the Facebook is valued at $2 trillion. Do you know the revenue they make? They make like $500 billion revenue. That's a four times of earning. That's fine. You know the Ethereum makes revenue, and what's the earning times? It's 250 times of the valuation. That is not justified. It was a pure speculation. If you made money in last 5 7 years, good luck with that. Happy for you guys. That part is never coming back.
I agree. I agree that the same cycle will not like the cycle will not repeat itself.
There is no cycle
Because
anymore, guys. Guys, there is no cycle anymore. Let's put it this way: there is no cycle left. You can take the chain and tires out of it.
wow, wow, that's so. Are you so pessimist, and are you leaving Web3 and uh, going on the Alps and doing meditation there? Like, what's your scene now?
I mean, I never left and I never really joined the space. But what I say, like, if you ask for what the particular business models which will do good, right? The problem is that I can tell even the names of the things, right? The startups will immediately hit the revenue. But the problem is that the mass retail people cannot speculate around it because it's not a token models. It is
Yeah.
pure equity plays. Probably they will hit the IPO in next 5 7. I mean, okay, let me ask you this way: if you really believe in token economy, then why the hell Coinbase did IPO, not the token? Why the hell Kraken wants to do the IPO? Why all the good companies wants to do IPO rather than launching the token? Tell me one company that don't want to do the IPO.
No, you have a very valid point because token dump. Also, I think the market of Web3 is very small compared to the stocks, right? What do you think, Irshad?
Yeah, I mean, that's for sure. That is for
Yeah,
sure.
because what actually Sagar pointed out is a very valid point here that all these companies are looking to do IPO because believe it or not, any company that has taken out a token has collapsed, right? And it is very, very, very difficult for the token to actually sustain a couple of cycles and then go up. And these days, our attention span is so limited that one cycle the token doesn't do well, we consider it dead. That didn't happen back in the day with Bitcoin. That didn't happen back in the day with Ethereum or with Dogecoin. But I think that is going to happen with a lot of tokens right now. What do you say,
Let, let,
Sagar?
let me put it one more fire, for all my fellow VC investor in the ecosystem. Since 2021, 22, right? Everyone was basically betting on two things: liquid, or they wants to do basically the angel investment, right?
Right.
And name me like any fund who really did the 5x from 2022 to today, like in liquid money, the one that they cash it out from one project, full money. If they put like $1 million check, they take it out 5 million. Bro, there is no liquidity left. The first few months, first few weeks, the founders were adding the liquidity from their own balance sheet, and then they let it ride like with whatever. But VCs were at like 1 or 2 years of lockup, right? And all the VCs on the earth, like I remember back in days in 2020, every VC I was trying to talk to it, they start their mouth like, yeah, we did 100x on Solana and we did this and that. And they were asking me like, what is your bragging point? And I was like, look, I don't have anything to brag about it because we are investing in illiquid stuff, which is like a proper business cases, right? And they don't have any plan to do the token actually. And, they were basically laughing. And I'm like, now we are talking after 5 years. I have invested in 22 startups. 7 are doing the like million and a half revenue. I would like to ask these all people, they were bragging to me like 100x IPO they did, like in the 2021 time, they just got lucky. Show me their projects. They even making a $500,000 revenue. There is no revenue, bro. It was basically like Irshad selling me, I'm selling to the Weibo, and we are basically pumping up our own ARR. There are very few projects.
Yeah, right
There are
now.
very few projects. It's 10 years of crypto industry. There are very few projects are doing the meaningful work for the society. I mean, stablecoin is the great innovation, but retail cannot participate. Stablecoin is great stuff. This is the only thing came out of in last 10 years of work, except the casino speculation is the stablecoin, which has the huge potential. But I don't see any of this. Like, why do you need like hundreds of L2s? Why do you need like the same copy paste DAX and all kind of like a perpetual? Basically, you are playing. Okay, so I will open the casino. So next door, Irshad will open, and then the other plot is open. So I will also open next to them. So basically, we name it this casino different name, but there was no any backable fundamentals, where we can justify like why do you need $150 million? I mean, look at the Polygon. They built with $5 million, 3 years, right? 4 years. Then there is like $500 million, right? They hire so many people. I mean, look at now where they are. Of course, they are trying harder to go after like product market fit. They are looking at the stable coin. The team is still around there. Full respect for Sandeep and everyone. But dude, those were the time like you were throwing everyone in the crypto like fancy 5-star parties. If you are a founder, I'm not talking about Polygon. I mean, any founders, if you're a founder, your job is to heads down, right? And build the product and find the product market fit. Rather than doing this thing, crypto bros were doing everything. They were like showing, I mean, if you're a founder, why the hell you want to be shown your face to the 100 of side events? Why? Because that's where the money was coming from. Just make a vibe. People come to your party, they're going to buy the token. So even 10,000 people buy your 1,000 worth of token, that's like $1 million. And that shit is over now.
I agree to that, and I really want to take Irshad's point of view here. Have you seen this in India, or this is only a Western thing?
By the way, this is everywhere, by the way. But Irshad, happy to hear your thoughts.
Let him say about the Indian thing.
No, sure. Irshad, please go ahead.
Yeah, no. So, see, I think, like I said,
Irshad wasn't prepared for this conversation to become so controversial. he is thinking about everything. Should I say it? Should I not say it?
The whole episode come out of syllabus,
Yeah, I mean, it's out of syllabus for sure. But really, if I think about it, right, see, there's this is the same point I was telling earlier. There are two types of founders always, right? There are people who are there to like build genuine thing, and on the other hand, you can also have folks who always want to scam. So I think where things may have changed is that VCs are being more careful about like investing, right? Like, okay, like someone wants to remain anonymous and like build a startup. The trust is much lower nowadays, right? Like no wants to do it. So I don't think you can categorize this as like a global thing and Indian thing. It's like these are the two different types of people. So I don't know like how many of the anonymous founders who've scammed people before are from India or not. So
Hey, sorry, I'm
maybe,
a pro. Sagar, nice to meet you. Thanks for hosting the event. Yeah, I mean, right there.
Good, good.
yeah. No. So that's my point.
Sagar,
Yeah,
you tell me something. You've been shitting on all these guys, for doing
I'm not
lavish
shitting.
parties.
I'm just telling the reality, guys. Let's put it this way: the
Fair.
truth is
Okay,
always
fine.
bitter. Yeah.
Now you tell me, you throw some lavish parties at
Thank you.
Davos, okay, at
It's
the
not a
World Economic Forum.
just yeah. Sorry. Okay, thank you. Just for the correction, that's not lavish party. It's like investor gathering, lunch. It's not lavish
You
party. I
know,
don't do
you
that.
know how, bro. I know how expensive that boulevard is. You
But but
people can't even stay there, because that boulevard is so tiny. Imagine,
let's put it this way.
like Brigade Road. That entire
Let's
thing is just one Brigade Road.
let's put it this way. I didn't raise the money from VCs to do that lavish party. I'm a VC. I'm putting my own money there to build the network. Founder should not do that. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so fair, fair, very, very good point. Founder should not do that because a long time ago I had a startup in Bangalore called Midnight Hunger Solutions. We were India's first midnight food home delivery service, and I was interviewed by I think Your Story or by Indian Express, and I always said that you should treat your investors' money as your own money because from where we come from or the life that we have seen, perhaps we have taken our mother's jewelries and pawned it and to start a business, right? Because amongst us at that point of time we didn't have a culture saying that, hey Irshad, I'm starting something, would you like to be an angel in Vesta, or would you like to invest? We didn't have that culture, so we would go to our literal friends and family around would have been, mummy, give me your jewelry, let me pawn it, and let me use it. And then when you do that, you're not going to throw lavish parties, right? Which is absolutely right. uh, of course,
Vaibhav,
the bit was on the
you
lighter
did
note,
it.
which I for that.
You said totally right way. You should you should consider the investor money is your, and that's what the founder did. Consider that investor money as themselves money, and they did everything except building the product. Just the context is a little bit different.
Bro, who is hurt you so much? Like what? Like who has really hurt you so much? What happened? Like, please, tell us the inside story.
No, I mean, look, as I said, like as an investor,
So
I
there
have
are
like three
दिल टूटा
dozens
है
of
बहुत बुरी
yeah.
तरीके
Okay,
से.
okay. Let me put it this way. As a
Okay.
founder, you have only one bullet to dodge. Okay, that means once you raise money, if you don't make it work, you're done. As an
Right.
investor, I have like 50s of bullet to dodge, and I'm gonna invest another 300 in next my 20, 30 years of life, right? So I'm fine. As I said, like the risk you already know when you enter into the investment space. The problem, what I'm saying is that if any industry in 10 years that there was, I mean, do you both of you guys get agree on me that there was no lack of money in this industry, right? Do you agree on
Right.
me? Right.
Yes.
So if we don't find a right product after 10 years, that means we failed to build a product. So money is not a main thing in the startup ecosystem. Do you agree on this one?
Yes.
So what do you need? You need a founder who are resilient, who are driven to build something. They are built from conviction and sort of they have like unlimited drive to solve the humanity's problem. Then money will come as a byproduct. This was
Okay.
not the thing in the our crypto space.
Give me some example of founders in the crypto space who have actually done what you're saying, who are very resilient, who are frugal. Irshad, the same thing goes to you. Right? Give me some example. Like, let's name and fame these founders.
Sure, there are like Coinbase founder, for example. He started in 2014.
Like
Circle founder,
tell us something movie in
2013.
four, right? See,
Let's put it
give
like let's put it like a core team of let's put it this way: the core team of Polygon before they become famous, they were heads down. I think the story
you
of
mean
JD
Arvind,
Sandeep,
Ravi,
yeah,
and
yeah,
all these.
JD. I mean, look at the JD's background. He come from Gujarat, and everyone knows the background of JD, right? Then JD, Sandeep, Anurag, right? These guys were not from EV League. Most of the VCs have declined it. I mean, I don't know Hash if participated or not, but Woodstock and everyone is basically declining, like, oh, you are not from IIT or IIM, right? These guys were resilient, that they gave us like an Indian builder, a new image that if you don't back us, we will prove you wrong, that we can build the stuff,
We will go to Mark Cuban directly.
right? The thing is that the good thing is that the Polygon is still around. Let's not look at the token price. Maybe they will come back or not, but they are actually trying harder on all direction. I mean, look at the Sandeep. Sandeep could have retired as well from the Polygon. He's still there and eating all the shit from the community or whatever, and he's like as much driven as today as he was like a few years back, before they become famous. I mean, we have like a long list of the founders who are still driven, resilient. But what I'm saying is that 99% of the founders, they got carried away with the capital they raised.
So now tell me something for our retail investors, people who are watching us on
Bro, I can't hear
Binance.
you. No,
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
no. Let me join again.
Irshad, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. So, I think Sagar has got very valid points, right? But then what do you think retail investors should look at? Because see, VCs get to know the sense of narrative beforehand. But what do you think retail investors should look at before they put in their hard-earned money? Like we saw Sagar speaking so passionately about this. What do you think,
Um,
Irshad?
See, I think it goes down to retail as well. When you think about putting in money, you have to evaluate it, and a lot of times it's just driven by like the hype and the buzz there is. Generally, that's what drives all the token value, etc. So, if you really want to, see, there are two types to invest, right? Like one is just you want to trade, you want to make some money here and there that you can, versus like long term conviction, right? Now, long-term conviction comes from thinking about projects like deeply. It's not just about like you see what's the buzz like, how many followers they have, etc., and then just make it happen. That is not long-term conviction. Then you'd have to look at few things. You'd have to look at the team. I think the most important thing is team, right? Because see, crypto is still somehow is still early because PMF is not like there in every aspect. Of course, we do have few payments and stable coins, etc. Uh, but at this stage, uh, there are still pivots happening. Products change. So if you are looking at investing really early on and you want to bet on an idea, then I don't think that's the right way because of the lack of all the like previous people who having done this, we tend to look at like, okay, it's a bet for any founder as well. It's a bet. So I think number one thing is team. You'd have to look at the team. Are these guys look at can will they stick around? What is the background that they come with? Why are they built to build a product like this? What is the integrity? If you can somehow like understand like how much of an integrity a founder carries, I think it's a great thing. So team is one, and then you can look at like the other things such as the product or what is the kind of market, and like what are some of the trends, etc. But I would really start with team, and then you can look at participating from that perspective.
But
uh,
you said you look at the team's pedigree, but then that is exactly how everybody lost Polygon, right? Because like how Sagar mentioned, they all were looking at pedigree, if this guy's from the Ivy League or not.
No,
Uh,
not yeah. Pedigree wouldn't necessarily mean like okay, coming from a certain college, right? Then it would be about like okay, what have they done? Why are they the right people to build something? Sometimes very hard as retail investors, very hard to judge because VCs do this every day, right? Like evaluating people. So then it would be about like okay, you also seeing Okay, who else is investing, right? Or why are some of these VCs investing? Are there, some of these investors talking about this particular project and why they believe in these particular guys? So I would not look at like college as being the main the pedigree element here. It's just generally look what have they done, how resilient can they be, how determined would they be over like a long period? Because it's not like a 1 year, 2 year thing, right? We're looking at like can they be there? Will they stick with
For
something
10
like
years.
this 10 years?
but
And
but
sometimes
but but
also very hard to get. Yeah. Mm.
but Irshad, like this is the thing. Like I was pushing some under radar founders building a Raspberry Pi side, hardware side, silicon side, semiconductor side, and the guys doing R&D in India and also running the 30 people's bootstrap team without a single venture capital dollar.
That's great. Mm.
He was telling me like these all VCs goes on podcast and
Mm.
give this all kind of wisdom, but they're not actually walking the talk. They always look. I mean, probably you are in India, Irshad, you know that how most of the deals getting done, right?
Mm.
But but also, like I think if you're playing the early stage game, it's all about people. Pre-seed seed is all about people. The problem was in our industry in crypto was that man, how the KPIs were getting measured, how many X followers you have, what is your Discord community looks like, how many impressions coming, and even VCs were asking in crypto. The problem was that so many people made so much money in 19, 20, 21 cycle that they basically mass colonized the venture capital market. So every second guy in crypto was venture capital investor, right? And what they were doing, the DD in terms of like, okay, oh, you're the advisor from XYZ company from TradeFi. Wow, this guy must be sharp, and then token pumps. I remember in 2017 time when any of your shitcoin getting listed on Ledger, Ledger, that's it, just the custody. The token was pumping 30x. Then somebody launched like, oh, I have the advisor from IBM, and then the token pump another 30x. This was a pure massive speculation. But people are calling like bubble will pop, bubble will pop. So bubble pops only when the liquidity dries up. So that's happening now. And I'm still confident that lots of good projects will come out of it. But I think the retail's not coming back for at least 3 to 5 years. Of course, the speculation is in our DNA as a human race, but they're done with this space. They are far better with the commodity cycle, far better with the silicon cycle. They're trading the stocks nowadays. At least it cannot go to zero. There is actually fundamental driven companies. They have the revenue backable. Maybe it goes 10, 20% up or down, but at least their capital is secure. I mean, guys, we can talk hours and hours, but I gotta run now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before you go, right? You actually picked all the founders who have been lavishly spending their VC's money, which is great. I am also perhaps guilty in being in their parties and having a good time. I've equally spent time with the VCs and with the founders, so I kind of know what you're saying. But what do you think in 2026 a founder should do to be noticed if he doesn't come from a pedigree of Web3, or perhaps it's not Web3 native? Now, you, me, and Irshad have the benefit of calling up people and saying that, hey, I'm working on this project, give me your suggestion. But then, how does somebody gets noticed now as we speak? Consensus Miami is happening, right? Should he go to a TBV and say, you know what, you're doing a party? I'll put in 20K. Let me get some branding out there. Or should he do an do an after party? Like, how do you think a founder in 2026 should be noticed, especially in the Web3 and the crypto space?
If the founder is at that party, then it's already the wrong founder. Let me put it this way. The party you mentioned, if I found, yeah, but okay, I'm coming back to the your straightforward answer. I think as you look at the first principle, nothing changed. As a founder, your job is to build the MVP, landing your first client, who somebody can pay you, right? And then scale it from that to the 100,000 ARR and $1 million ARR.
But
If
how
you
does
are
he build
really,
his
yeah,
how does he
sorry.
build his MVP? If he's launching a token, how does he form those partnerships? How does that happen? Because
Look,
these
the
parties are great.
first thing to all the founders, don't even dream about it launching the token. Okay, let's put it this way. Don't even dream. You really think you are building a great product? It can still work without token. Just I think we are sitting in the transition of the whole century. The AI and building the product was never been easier as much as of today. If you wanted to build anything, even last year, you need like at least some sort of money to hire the developers and technical CEOs. If you are now as a CEO and you have just idea, all you need is the idea. You can do vibe coding and build the whole fucking thing, without even having the team. I can tell you, like in 2026, you can reach the $1 million ARR without even having the team member or without even raising the money, because all you need is that vibe coding, just heads down, find your customer, and build something meaningful. That's I'm keep telling since 2020. If you look at my podcast in 2020, we were doing angel investment in crypto space. Build something where you can actually call it a product where people want to use it. Don't build like a next DAX, like Uniswap. Okay, don't build the like next perpetual market. That's not you want to build. You want to solve the real world problem. And that's why I would tell the founders that build something meaningful. Look around where the $1 billion you can make is the $1 billion problem you have to sell. The problem looks much more tougher. That's where you should be building.
But
And then use the blockchain as a rail, and a backend that it solves the problem with blockchain rail.
no, I totally agree with you. I've said this in almost all my talks that the user doesn't care whether the app or the DApp. First thing, the user doesn't even understand the difference between an app or a DApp. The user is looking at was convenience. It doesn't matter if it is built on blockchain, if it's built on React or anything. So it is not a user's problem. We get into really technical stuff and we overcomplicate shit. But then till last year, VCs were asking for SAFT. They were asking for tokenomics. So I think that is why the founders are forced to launch a token. Even if they don't want to launch a token, it is because you
True.
guys are
Not
asking
me,
them
not me, not me, not me, not me.
Yeah, not my
or
previous.
VCs are asking them, saying that when is your token, what is your token, because they want to make an exit.
I mean, you're right, Vaibhav. Look, there's, as I said, like we can keep going on the discussion, but I mean, look, there was a demand and supply that was going work pretty fast. And it's if you look at 1929 crisis, you look at the 1989 or 2007, 8, it's okay. You can dance or you can ride the wave till the music goes on, but you need to be bit of using your brain that is this sustainable? You have to always ask the question like, is it worth it? Of course, so many market makers, so many players made the money, but it's like, okay, then what next? People are not going to remember you for something solving the creative problem. They will remember you as a scammer, that you raise the money from lots of people and you just living the posh life. And I'm a fully karma believer, like it's, if you haven't earned the money by hard working, I think it's basically going to get fucked up somewhere else.
No, I think no, 100%. And I know you have to go, but I want to offer you a job. I want you to be my regular panelist. We go live every day at 8 p.m. Dubai. I want you to be there every fucking day.
That's probably
जाते जाते जाते
when,
जाते see
yeah.
इर्शा के कान खून गिर रहा है वो like पर जाते जाते please tell us your last few words like one more fire shot.
I think I fired everything. I mean, if you have a particular question, then I can fire up. But I think, as I said, like, look,
What's your
building a company is,
suggestion
yeah,
to
building.
founders?
Sorry,
What's your suggestion to founders who are now thinking of building something in AI or in Web3?
as I said, like, just build something meaningful, which will solve the problems of the people, where you can make the money out of it and scale it. Pretty simple. And I mean, by the way, you don't need to basically build a $1 billion company. You can still build a $25 million company and make a $3 million ARR a year. You will be still fine as a solo founder. It's the people always look at this unicorn status and big raise. No, you can still build a small company as a solo founder or two people in their garage now by using all kind of AI tools, make a healthy revenues. You can still be fine with life. You don't need to always look after these all fake publicities like, oh, my startup is unicorn. This is the wrong KPIs or this is wrong measurement.
Very well said. Very well said. Thank you. I'm going to leave you here and then I'll have a chat with Irshad. Thank you for joining. I had so much of fun. This is our 9th episode. And what are you doing tomorrow, bro? Can I block your calendar?
Just yeah. Thank you, Irshad. Great to meet you, and Vaibhav, thanks for the invite. And talk soon. Yeah. Bye bye.
This fellow didn't even hear me properly. What fun! What fun. Irshad, do you now the stage is yours. Please say something.
Oh no! So I think Sagar said enough, and he's really pointed at like just the fundamentals, right? Like it's just thinking from first principles. What are we doing here? We're trying to build a business, right? We're trying to build a business that works, that makes money. So that's all that one has to focus on, right? Like how can you make that work? So to not get like really, like taken away with, oh, do I not need to launch a token in the beginning or not, etc. Because that's a problem. Like when you get into that, then your focus shifts from okay, like building the product that you have to, which is by itself is complicated in an industry like this. On the other hand, you also have to think about like the token prices and things like that. Oh, I need to like have market makers. I need to build more relations with exchanges and list them up everywhere. All of this is not required if you don't need a token, right? So if you are really focused on like if you really want to build it out, I think it's simple. You just focus on the product. What do you want to do? You talk to VCs when it's time, when you need that money, if you need it, and then you raise it. You try to get customers because at the end of the day, it's those metrics that matter, right? Are you getting enough revenue? Are there enough customers? Is it sustainable, right? If you need to grow it with more number of users, like some of the businesses need users before it can start making money. That's when you go to a VC, right? Simple as that.
Man, thank you so much. And any last words for our Indian founders since you have worked so closely with them? Something that you see, they're making a mistake, but they're not gone out and
Yes.
told in the face like Sagar, but now you can.
Yeah. No, man. So, see, I think this is something that we've generally been telling to people as well. See, there are certain limitations right now when you build in India. We cannot deny that, and that's coming from regulations, like I said, because of which there is lack of risk capital, which means lesser number of developers get funded for the experiments that they want to do or the products that they want to build. It's there. Those limitations are there. Then what do you do, right? Of course, you cannot force the local VCCs to come over here to put in money because you do have limitation. Then you think about like, okay, geographies. Where can I find that? Where's like a good density city where there are so many VCs that I could get funded? Then you'll have to chase. I mean, you'll have to play. Probably keep visiting some of those places, like let's say NYC, etc. And that's what I think. Global connection and exposure is very important because if you try to build things in silo within India, chances are you're going to run out of money. Simple as that, right? You will not be able to go ahead, and then you're forced to like shut your startup down and then move back to like okay, get a job or something. So which means now if you were to increase your probability of like making this a successful something, then you have to build network, build connections, meet people from across the globe where they are open to like funding such kind of startups. It's the only way, right?
Proximity
If
is
you
power.
really want to be out. Yeah.
No, true, true, absolutely. I was just adding on to you that proximity is power.
Yeah.
You have to be around where things are
Around.
happening.
Simple
Yeah,
as that.
if you're in India, get to Bangalore. I think
Yeah.
Bangalore is where everything's happening. I've
It's good. Yeah.
I've personally seen Bangalore grow from a pensioner's paradise to this massive IT hub that it is
It's
currently.
crazy.
And in fact, earlier it was an ITES hub, which was call centers. Uh,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
from there to where you walk into any coffee shop in Koramangala or Indranagar. By the way, Koramangala and Indranagar put together have got more restaurants per capita than across India, or maybe second to House Khas in Delhi. That's the kind of cafes and restaurants we have there. Since I was in the food business, I remember that stat, and I don't think it has changed. But the way the ecosystem is growing in Bangalore, it is unbelievable. Dubai is a great place, but I think Dubai you need to come with some backing because money can like fly from here. Because I
Yeah.
think today each dirham is about 25.6 Indian rupees.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Um, I think when I first came in here, it was 17. I think in 2017 or
Mm.
2016, it was 17 rupees. And then last I remember was 22 for the longest time, and then
Mm.
suddenly we're sitting at 25.60. So
Mm.
I just hope that you guys take I think Sagar had got great points that as a founder, uh, don't do monkey see monkey do. By which I mean is that if this founder is throwing like $1 million party, you don't go and do that, but you do whatever
Yeah.
you think that is good for your project. But do throw parties, and do be a part of the ecosystem, because these parties, whether we like it or not, is actually what builds the entire ecosystem, has actually built the ecosystem for the last decade. And the next Monday, in fact, we are having two OGs of people who have built communities in the blockchain from scratch. We are going to have Luke Kerner, who is the founder of Crypto Monday, the oldest and the first ever crypto meetup that ever started in the US. And then we have the president of Liberland, which is a country based on blockchain. So I think bringing these people in is the idea of Thank you, Irshad. Irshad is one of the key people in the Indian ecosystem. I'm sorry, Irshad is one of the key people in the Indian ecosystem. But as you would have seen in this live stream, that is very quiet. He's very poised, and but he still has a lot of things to say. We would love to have you over very soon, and to get more updates, and all the very best for everything that you're doing. Do you have any last words to say on this stream?
No, no, that's about it. Yeah. Thanks a lot for hosting us. Really enjoyed this conversation. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, man.
One second, hold on.